Another fantastic day here. It is absolutely gorgeous out. December 12th. Kanye's dropping. We got Northwest rapping on the mic, sounding like an absolute beast. And now I'm sitting in the sun, in the car, getting ready for another basketball workout. I don't even know what we're doing today, to be quite honest. Like I said in my previous video, I think freestyling with the basketball is the easiest way to get better quickly. But I only think that if you already have a certain level of skill, and I'm not going to claim to be Darius Garland, but I'm better than the average Joe. So at this point, freestyling helps me a lot more. Just my personal opinion. I'm not always right, but I'm always real. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to take some pre-workout here, and then we're going to drive off to the gym. And hopefully this time I'll be able to get more angles of what I'm actually doing and actually film more of the workout, because I should have more battery this time, because I decided to pay attention to, or rather rekindle the lessons I was taught in Boy Scouts. Always be prepared. Always be prepared. There's so many dirty jokes I could go into on that. But in any case, let's get to it. All right, so we are at the LA Fitness. There was a huge accident on the road driving here. Wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. If you would wish that upon your worst enemy, I suggest you look in the mirror and do some self-reflection, because that is sick. I'm not going to put that on camera because it was horrific, and prayers to the people in that accident. But in any case, we are here at the LA Fitness. We're about to get in, get groovy, get moving, get shifty. I figured out what we're going to work on today. First, we're going to start with a 2-ball handling warm-up. That's usually my go-to, but I've been changing up recently. However, we're going to go back to it today because I really want to perfect the 2-ball, particularly with the between the legs. It's something I struggle with. Also behind, struggle with that a little bit. It could be crisper, so we're going to work on that. Then we're going to get into between the legs work. Brief, but just really hard pound dribbles between the legs, and then working on pulling up and really selling the drive on the pull-up jumper. Then we're going to get into between behind work, where all I can do is between and behind the back dribbles. Really good for making sure you're not wasting movement, making sure that your between and behind the back are really fluid, but also that you can get creative with just those 2 dribbles alone. You have to be really conscious about what you're doing. Then we're going to get into a set of randomized 3s and mid-range pull-ups. I always like to do that because if you can shoot, you're always going to get playing time. And I know that I'm never going to be the most athletic player on the court, but I can be the best shooter. So I always work on that every single time. Then we're going to get into some freestyling. And in particular, we're going to work on decoupling the ball and the body. So having the ball go one way, having the body go the other way. You'll see what I mean whenever we get in there. But also working on going really, really slow at a snail's pace and then going super quick. Because especially for a player like me, I need to know how to change my pace. And if you're not the fastest player on the court, which you probably aren't statistically, you need to learn how to change your pace. And even if you are super fast, you can get even more lethal with the basketball if you know how to change your pace. De'Aaron Fox is like this. The reason why he wasn't as good as he is today in the beginning was A, he didn't have a jumper, really important, but B, he went 1,000 miles per hour all the time. If you learn how to change your pace, which he has now, you get really, really deadly. That's why Tony Parker was really good. That's why Derrick Rose was really good, because he would go 1,000 miles per hour, but then he could also go slow. That's why he was really, really nasty too. So that's what we're going to work on today. And then we're probably just going to finish with free throws or some ball handling again. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll just stretch. I don't know. We'll see what happens then. But I'll see you in there, and let's get to it, baby.
I had to modify the workout because in warm-ups, I strained my groin. Not bad, just enough to the point where if I did some crazy shit, I was gonna fuck it up. So, all right, workout complete. Like I said inside, I had to switch it up and make it simpler because I strained my groin just a little bit in the warm-ups, and I'm not in pain right now, but I can feel it's a little bit tight. It doesn't want to cooperate. And if I try to freestyle and try to hit all these new angles, try to really push it in terms of being shifty, that thing's going to go. And I've had groin problems in the past, so I know what it feels like. You probably know what it feels like as well. If you don't, make sure your hips are good. Mine seem to be all cattywampus. My right one seems to sit back a little bit more than my left. And I'm trying to fix it. It's working a little bit with my squats and with side hip raises and all of that good jazz, but still isn't quite there. Sometimes it still gets aggravated, still gets inflamed. So just had to switch it up today. But like you saw in there, started off just shooting around. I'll warm up the body real quick. Just shoot around, try some one-leggers, try some form shots. I don't like to start close. I'll start close for 2 or 3 shots, but I don't really feel the need to do 20, 30, 40, 50 form shots like a lot of trainers say. That's all well and good if you really want to hone in on your form, but I did that for 3, 4 years. Doesn't really do anything for me now. It just wastes my time. I would rather focus on my form, start close, and then back up immediately. Once I see the ball go through the net 2, 3 times from right at the rim, I'm backing up immediately. I'm not going to the three-point line, of course, but I'm going to short floater range, and then I'm going to short mid-range, and then deep mid-range, and then eventually get to the three-point line. And I would rather get into the flow state by trying different things, try some left-handed shots like you saw me do, because it just gets my brain engaged in what is going on. And that's the most important thing for me, is to be conscious and aware of what I'm doing, to be focused in that moment, because that's how I've gotten better over the course of my life training. Again, I'm just saying what works for me. There's a million different ways to train. Every trainer has their own method. There are a lot of commonalities. Find the shit that works for you. But after that, we got into the ball handling workout. My biggest thing with ball handling, and a lot of trainers would agree with me. Trainers, if you're watching this, you know, go hard, dribble the ball as hard and as quick as possible, be as shifty as you possibly can, because it is better to fuck up a lot in your ball handling warm-up than to fuck up in the game. Push yourself, expand your limits. You're never going to get better at ball handling if you don't pound that ball into the fucking court, if you don't push that ball hard on your crosses, on your between the legs, on your behinds, if you don't really try to manipulate that thing as much as you can whenever you're doing your cuff dribbles, whenever you're doing your cross-body dribbles, whenever you're doing your between the leg dribbles, you got to push it. Every trainer out there would agree with me. At least every good trainer would agree with me. And it has expanded my ball handling leaps and bounds. So push yourself, make a lot of mistakes. You will get better quickly. From there, went into the cuff dribble shots. So really, I just want to do that pound, cuff, and then shoot. Pound, cuff, shoot. Because you'd be surprised how easy it is to get your shot off if you can pound that ball, cuff it, and get to a pocket. You saw that my pockets were really deep on the right hip or really deep on the left hip, and it's really hard to defend whenever you're guarding because you're just not going to be able to get there in time. I'm too far away from you. Everybody wants to focus on shooting with perfect form. You got to be able to shoot from various pockets. If you can shoot from that cuff position, you're going to get a lot more shots off. You're going to be much more dangerous from the nail, from the top of the key, from the three-point line, anywhere. If you can get that shot off, you're going to be dangerous. Plus, it sets up a lot of counters. Hesitations, between the legs. If you do that, then if they bite, you can really initiate contact with the body, and then you can drive. There's a lot of options you can do, and then you can separate with a push dribble out. There's so many things you can do once you get that cuff dribble in place. And the more you just work on that basic fundamental of the cuff dribble to shot, then you get defenders to bite. Then you can start working on your counter, and then your counter, and then your counter, and then your counter. It's what Kobe taught. I believe in it very, very, very deeply. Then from there, I just wanted to get into float dribble. So really just push the ball, float, and then just kind of freestyle with it. Do some pound side steps, do some of those cuff dribbles. So float and then do that cuff shot, or get into that between the legs street ball kind of move. It's not really street ball. It's like the most basic street ball thing you can do. I wouldn't even call it street ball, but that's the most similar comparison I can make. Get into that, just float with it. Really focus on lulling the defender to sleep. Really focus on gaining space. I would have extended more, but my groin again was acting up. I didn't want to push it too much, but you want to try and cover as much ground as you can on that push dribble so that you can just keep your defender on edge. If you can cover from one wing to the top of the key, or from one wing almost to the other wing somehow, like that's ideal. That's really, really ideal. You're not going to get there overnight, but that's really, really ideal. Then all of a sudden it's like you can cover damn near the entire court just with those tiny steps. You throw off the timing of the defender, you can get off shots all day long. And like I've said in many videos and will continue to say, if you can shoot from anywhere on the court, from any pocket, from any stance, over any defender, you're going to score a lot of points. Doesn't really matter if you can dribble the ball that well. Doesn't really matter if you can create all that well. If you can shoot, you're going to score and you're going to get minutes, and your teammates will love you because they're going to draw help and they're going to love it when you knock down shots. So that was a simple workout there. Stay tuned for day 3, and hopefully by then my groin will feel a little bit better so that we can push it freestyle mode like we did in the first workout and really work on some new stuff. But in any case, much love, peace. It's the new Da Vinci. See you next time.